and welcome to another edition of 360 Half Seconds. I'm Kia from 360 Vet Sales, and with me today is Matt Arena, CEO of 360 Vet Sales. How's it going, Matt?
It's going well. How are you?
Doing well. Two quick questions. How was U2 last week? I know you went at the Sphere. And then my second question is, I also heard, based on my recommendation, that you tried the Mexican pizza from Taco Bell. Wanted to know also your reviews on that.
Yes. So U2 concert was really good. The screen thing they do in the background is just unbelievable. My wife's a huge U2 fan, so she loved it. The Mexican pizza was very surprising. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. I had never heard of it before, and that might be on my rotation. If I'm feeling hungry and I'm out and about, I might stop at Taco Bell now and get the Mexican pizza.
Delicious. It's delicious. Okay. So, real quick reminder to our viewers of how 360 half seconds works. I'm going to give Matt 360 half seconds or 3 minutes to answer my questions. And timer is going to start as soon as I ask the first question. Does that sound good, Matt?
Sounds great. Let's go.
Okay. So, Matt, usually we talk about the best times to sell a practice, or the things that you need to do to be ready to sell a practice. Today I'm going to switch it up a little bit, and I'm going to ask you, when do you not want to sell your practice if you're a veterinary owner?
Great question. So first and foremost, I would always advise someone, do not sell your practice if you're not ready to sell. If you're not at the point where you're like, I think I'm bought into selling, I think my mind is there, I think I'm ready. You'll know when you're ready, because when you're ready, you know. I could tell you from experience, and other doctors that I've sold their practices in the past feel the same way. You'll get to that point. The other thing is, I think you don't want to sell if your situation is you just lost an associate, because you've got a couple different situations here. I lost an associate and I don't believe I can replace them in the next 6 to 9 months. You could still sell, but you're going to take a discounted valuation. Buyers are not going to look at the production of that DVM or associate that just left. And so your valuation is going to go down a little bit. If you're in the situation where you're like, hey, I think I can replace this associate in 2, 3, 4 months, and you could pick right back up with that production, I know that's kind of a perfect world, then you really don't have to wait too long at that point. Get the other associate in the door, have a couple months of runtime, proof of concept. I think we can go right to market, and you're not going to miss a beat. The biggest one is if you really just don't think you can replace. I know it's hard to hire an associate today, so not everyone's like, oh, I have a good plan of attack on how to replace. If you fall into one of those categories, I would suggest that you maybe either A, go to market now and understand you're taking a discounted valuation if you're ready, or B, if it's 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 months, you get a new associate in the door, you now kind of have to wait 6, 8, 10 months to go to market to get top dollar valuation, because that's when you're going to have enough proof of concept. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, if it didn't, reach out to us. We're happy to answer these questions on a case-by-case basis.
Sure.
I was going to jump into a couple of the other things. So
yeah, please do.
The other big one is your accounting and your financials have to be in good order. You have to have the right numbers. So the sweet spot when selling today is to have your revenue, I would say I'm going to tell you my answer. I've heard some other answers. My answer would be $1.8 to $2 million in revenue at a minimum. That's really where you want to be. There's, of course, exceptions to the rule, but that's where you kind of want to be. And then just as equally important, and it has nothing to do with revenue or anything, now this dives into your EBITDA as a percentage of your revenue. So EBITDA divided by revenue percentage, the sweet spot for that is 20 to 25%. Okay. If you're running 10 or 14%, the best thing you could do for yourself is either raise prices, figure out if you need to ramp up some production or get some more business in the door, whatever you need to do to try to get your EBITDA as a percentage of revenue to be in that 20 to 25% range. And believe it or not, it also holds true. Let's say you're 30 or 40%, really high compared to the industry. You want to try to really understand why you're so high and if that makes sense for another owner. So if you didn't own the practice, doesn't it make sense that they would run your company and still be at that high margin? Because a lot of the times they're going to look at that and say, this is I don't want to say too good to be true, but they get that feeling of there's something here we're not quite getting, and they may discount and say, we're gonna have to spend more money on benefits, or there's something here that we're gonna have to adjust, and it'll bring your EBIT as a percentage down. But the sweet spot that you want to be in is at 20 to 25%, or even maybe 20 to 30%.
Okay, and time is up, and I appreciate your answer. I did notice that you said something there that I just wanted to just touch on just for a second, which was make sure your accounting is in order. I think we
Yeah.
talk about this a lot on these episodes. If your accounting is not in order and you don't and the buyer doesn't have confidence in what they're looking at, it's really going to affect your valuation, or it might make it so that they see it as so risky that they won't even put in an offer, even if everything else looks good.
Yeah,
So
and honestly, if you're watching this and you're like, I don't know if my numbers are good. I'm not an accountant. Get a hold of us. I'm happy to look at your financial statements and stuff, and I'll tell you, hey, this looks pretty good. When you're ready, I think your accounting is in good order. Or I can tell you, hey, this is what's wrong with your accounting, and this is what you want to correct.
yeah, and we have these conversations all the time. We have conversations with prospective clients all the time where our advice to them is actually, hey, listen, right now is not the best time for you to go to market. We can go to market for you right now, but either A, we're not going to get the offers that you're looking for, or B, we might not get any offers at all.
Yep.
And you know, as Matt said, you get to do this maybe once, maybe a couple times. So you want to make sure that you're really reaping the
Ready.
return that you should. So thanks again, Matt. Appreciate it. Just a reminder to everybody out there, if you have a topic that you want to see us tackle on 360 half seconds, we're happy to do it. Please send me a note. It's Kia at 360vetsales.com. That's KIA, or you can send one to Matthew at 360vetsales.com. And then please go like our YouTube page, follow us on LinkedIn. And as Matt said, if there's anything that we can help you out with personally, if you have questions about your own practice, or you're just starting to consider the idea of even selling and you want to know what that process looks like and what the market looks like for your practice, please shoot us a note. We're happy to help. We're happy to take a look at everything with no strings attached.
Yep.
So until next week, thanks again.
See you next week. Thank you,
All right.
everyone.